to my YouTube channel. Okay, I hope you're doing good today. Welcome back to day 2 of our 5-part series, our 5-day series. Today we are talking ghosting. We're talking all matters ghosting. If you are a new viewer, I hope by the end of the video you consider subscribing. If you're already part of the family, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. So today we are talking about ghosting. To be honest, this is something that under normal circumstances would not need to be addressed. But as we have it, our dating scenes are in chaos. It is chaotic out there, and we just don't know what to do most of the time. We're just running around, screaming, Lord, your children, oh Father, your sons, hey, Father, your daughters, you know, they have started again. So I'm just going to give us, I will also give my experience with this ghosting thing. Please me when my husband comes, he needs to throw me a party because wait, he needs to throw me a party because it is not easy. It's not easy. It is not easy. If you also would just like to know my experience, my ghosting experience, then just stay tuned. Just stay tuned until we have a little story time at the end of, towards the end of the video. I will also insert some of the messages that I got from people. I won't insert all of them, but I will share quite a couple. I'll share maybe 3 or 4 and just let you read so that you don't think, oh, I was just talking too much. But anyway, so I asked on my Instagram over the weekend. I asked on my Instagram if people had any experiences with ghosting. I asked people what they thought about ghosting. Of all the voters, 9% of the voters said they would speak very highly of ghosting, which is very highly questionable. And the other 91% said that they would speak very lowly of ghosting and would not recommend it to someone else. Whether that was truthfully answered or not, I do not know and will not dwell on. What is ghosting? Ghosting is when a person you are communicating with suddenly cuts all communication with you. They just literally fall off the face of the earth like they never existed and cease to exist in your world. They do this apparently for some of them do this apparently because they're too scared to mention that they don't want to continue, which is kind of stupid because then if you're that immature you should not be dating anyway. The other reason is that they would just rather drift away and not mention anything and then just leave your life because they are afraid of making you feel a lot of pain. So they would rather not say it to your face, but instead they would rather just fall off the face of the earth, pretend like you never happened, pretend like nothing ever happened, and just continue with your life. Just get the hint and move on. Get the hint and move on. Continue with your life. So how is ghosting done? Simply put, it is waking up one day and just deciding for one reason or the other I will not text back or I will not answer this phone call. This person will get the hint. Are they not sensible? They'll get it. Yeah? Or deciding that I don't owe it to them. I don't owe it to them to explain why I've decided to stop things here in this manner today and now. So if you are seeing someone and then they just wake up and like, man, I don't really feel like talking to this girl anymore. I've got reasons, but I just don't think telling her would. I don't think I'm obliged to tell her, so I'm just simply not going to say anything. And they just stop. Hey! People in this world are mean, let me tell you, like, why? People, why would you ghost someone? Should you do it? Should you ghost someone? I won't even try and bring my faith into this unless you say, oh, you are trying to drag God into this. Even though I could take the approach, I won't take it. Just on a human level. Where's the maturity in that? It is highly immature to ghost someone else, to just suddenly act like they just need to get the hint. You don't owe them any explanation. You don't owe them any form of, oh, I'm sorry, I thought we should just stop here. Whatever, I'm sorry, but hey, I don't think things are working out. I think we should stop here. It says a lot about your character. If you are the ghost, it says a lot about your character. It says a lot about the person that you are. No matter how great you may try to portray yourself, the moment you begin to ghost the other person, it says a lot about your character. It says a lot about who you truly are, like the true you, not the one you choose to show us, but you. Should you do it? Obviously, no. Why? Because here's a response. And like the worst thing, my particular issue with ghosting is it's so confusing. Like, I don't know why things are ending. So I cannot possibly get closure. I cannot fix things in future, because the whole point of having relationships, if they don't work out, the good thing is, the upside is, hey, I learned something. And part of this learning, part of these lessons are actually lessons that these come from the reasons we are told when a breakup happens. So if, let's say, one man said to me, oh, Nyasha, I don't want to continue getting to know you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he goes on to say, I don't want to get to know you anymore because I feel like you just really don't know how to observe boundaries. And I ask, okay, what kind of boundaries? And if he says, you don't respect my privacy as a person, I just simply feel it's very important. And if you don't respect privacy, we cannot go anywhere. In future, when I meet other people, I am in a position to say, hey, I need to make sure that I maintain boundaries that do not become intrusive. I need to make sure that I keep my space. I am involved, but also keep my space in a way that allows me to be involved, but not to be intrusive. And so feedback is very essential. It is very important because it helps you grow, it helps you learn. So without feedback, you can possibly not know what happened, what went wrong. You don't know what to fix in your next relationship. You don't know, was it my armpits? Were they smelling too much? Nothing. These are things that could come in handy in your next relationship. So you need the feedback. You need the coach. You need to know why, in a position to ghost another person. It simply shows you're not in a position to date. Why? Because you are so immature that you could not see something and point it out. You had reasons for doing something and you simply could not flag them out. You could not flag them and say, hey, like, I've got an issue with this, and for that reason we cannot continue. You do not have the balls. If you are a man ghosting a woman, you have no spine. It is not from a place of emotions. I have no emotions over this matter. I've dealt with those. But it's the truth. You have no spine. You are a spineless man. Hey, auntie, if you are the one who's ghosting the other person, if you're the one who's ghosting these men, auntie, why won't you mention it? Why won't you just tell it? Like, I feel like we're not going in the same direction, so we stop here. Like, it's not asking for permission. It's simply informing the other party. They won't say, no, don't go. They'll let you go. But you need to be mature and civil enough to just show that at least you come from a home where there are people. Hey, show us that you were raised by human beings, okay? Hey, guys. Imagine thinking someone is in the hospital when they've just ghosted you. They just woke up and they're like, you know what, I can't. And so the other reason people ghost others is simply because perhaps they are cheating. And so when you're cheating, this is another video completely. So after being ghosted, what should you do? After being ghosted, the first thing you need to do is feel your feelings. Feel your feelings, okay? Allow yourself to feel hurt, because it's painful. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and tell you, oh no, it's not that bad. It actually is very painful. Like, you don't understand why it happened, so what's going on? Feel your feelings. Allow yourself to feel how you are feeling. 2, open up to God especially. because only God can heal you. Only God can heal your emotional wounds. You rushing off and telling your friends might help in the interim, but it really won't do much healing in the long run. So run to God with your emotions. After you've felt your feelings, carry your feelings to the foot of the cross. Leave them there. Tell Jesus. Jesus understands all the emotions you possibly could feel when you ghosted. Because he was betrayed, he was rejected, he was left alone. So he understands the pain you're going through when you're ghosted. And so, take your feelings to Jesus. Run to God. Run to God. Open up to God. Allow God to heal you. Allow God to speak to your heart in that moment when you need to hear it. Number 3, open up to friends. A friend or two. Mention to them, ladies, this is what exactly happened, and I think I've just been ghosted, and I don't know why, or maybe I have an idea, but this is just how I'm feeling. If your friends are sensible, if they're good friends, if they have the financial resources, if they have the time, if they have the expertise, if they have all the they should be able to make things better for you. Be it having a phone call with you, taking you out for a walk, going somewhere with you, just being with you. Even if they cannot do it, physically, they could try doing it virtually. So open up to your friends. Let your friends in, because if people don't know what you're going through, they cannot help you. And so the biggest and quickest way to help is voicing it. The devil wants you to suffer alone. The devil's biggest tactic is divide and conquer. So when you're alone and nobody else knows, you are as sick as your secret. I think you've heard that before. You are only as sick as your dirtiest secret. And so if you have a secret, the devil will use that against you. Talk, open up, shame the devil, retell the truth. If you were ghosted after you mentioned to a man that you were not up for premarital sex and he left, let the boy go. Let that small boy, let him go. Let him go. If you are ghosted because apparently you work and you have no time for a relationship and it was not put across to you, but you kind of have an idea, then work on that. If you were ghosted for a reason that you perhaps know, if you were ghosted because the guy thought, hey, you were just too untidy, then work on being clean. If you were ghosted, however, for something that was right and morally sound and did not go against your morals, then what you just do is retell the truth. Re-sing the Lord's truth over yourself, Remind yourself why things are like this, because at the end of the day, it will be worth it. I promise you. I promise you, it's gonna be worth it, and you know what? You will be happy. No, okay. I feel like standing for this one. Hey, I feel like standing. But anyway, so 3 years ago, sometime. Yeah, let's just say 3. I think it was 2 years ago. 3 years ago or so, I traveled. I had been talking to this person at that time. He was a pilot, and so we're finally in the same location. Yeah. And so we decided to go for lunch. We went for lunch. The date went pretty well. It was the first date. The date went pretty well. And during lunch, we could pick up that we had certain differences. I think one of the differences that we had, a difference yet a similarity, was that we were both very intense about our faiths. We both had a desire and love for God. And I picked up that he was not willing to change his church, and I mentioned it that I was not doing it either. So at this point, we both knew, okay, one of us is going to have to move churches if this goes, if this works out. And from where we both were standing, it wasn't going to happen. And so we went through lunch, and then it was good. And so we talked the next day again, and we were looking at a second date. We're considering a second date. And so it so happened that we were planning to meet that night. We were planning to meet that night. And so then he said to me, would you have time today? I said, I do actually have time. So I was looking forward to it. I was very excited. Because I kind of had a crush on him. Actually, I had a crush on him because I think, but my face, you can tell, if you're my husband and you're watching me, please, hey, please help me to stop blushing at the people from the past. I don't want it. Anyway, so, this man, this man then he said to me, okay. I was wondering so he said to me what he had in mind for the second date was me going to his church. Ordinarily, that would not be an issue. It would be a good thing, like, oh, you invited me to your church. Great. I am actually looking forward to it. But I felt it was way too soon because it just felt too soon. I wasn't changing churches. He wasn't changing churches. So what was the point of me going to this church or him coming to mine? Testing the waters maybe to say, hey, let me try and see. I was not going to go to his church just to make him happy. Because when I go to church, it is for God and not anybody else. And so for me to deceive him and say, oh, I'm really excited to be coming to your church and like, I really cannot wait to do this with you. When inside I'm actually saying like, I don't want to be here. And then in the end I start sulking. I just felt it was just too deceptive. And it would just nullify the point of me going there anyway. It was very ingenuine. And so I said to him, I politely declined the invite. And I said, I'm sorry, but I don't think I can as yet. I intentionally put in that close, that as yet close, because honestly speaking, later on, maybe I could have been open to the idea, but as a second date idea, no thank you. It just wasn't going to work. No. As a result, what happened was he said, okay. And I think that was the problem. Like the fact that he said, okay, when he felt it was not okay, was the issue. Like he could have immediately said how it just didn't sit right with him and he did not feel we could continue. And I could have taken that. That would have been fine. I'd have had no issue with that. I would have had my closure to know, it was this song. I got on this sticky up. Hey. He went quiet. So I texted. We actually went on to talk about a different topic. And after we talked about that, he just didn't reply one message of mine. And so I figured, okay, maybe he's going to reply later when he has time. But not because it was WhatsApp. So I realized, hey, this person is actually online. He's not opening my message, but he has seen it. I was not going to double text him. So I left him like that. And he left me like that. And we just left each other. Hey! So then it just didn't make sense to me to text him again when he hadn't responded to my message, which he had seen. So I spoke up about it. At this point in my life, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand what was going on. So I texted my girls. I had a group chat with two of my friends and we were talking in that chat. And I just sent a screenshot of what happened. And I think it was like 10 hours later. And my girl one of the girls said, Nyasha, you've been ghosted. Ghost what? Hey. I was like, what is that? Hey, like, what has been ghosted? What? Ghost what? Ghost, hey? What? I was like, what is it? What do you mean by being ghosted? So then my friend took her time to explain what it meant. And I was disappointed. Like, what? Just yesterday, I was seeing this guy, so many praises. I was mentioning how I spoke very highly of him. So I did not expect something so immature from him. Like, it just didn't make any sense. The point of going on a date, the point of going on dates with people is so that you can see whether or not you guys get along like that. It's so that you can see if you're going in the same direction, if you have the same interests, if you even enjoy each other's company. So if at any point you realize, no, I actually don't, you have the right, you are obliged to mention, hey, I don't think we're going in the same direction. May we stop here? It's not asking for permission. It is not asking for permission. It is simply telling. You are informing the other party. You're not asking for permission. Like, oh, so I don't want to talk to you anymore. So is it okay if we don't talk? It is simply informing the other person, hey, I think you're a great person. I really enjoyed our chats and all that, but I simply don't think we're going the same direction. And so I would like to stop here. Whether they take it, they don't take it, that's your own problem. It is not your own. But the point is you have expressed yourself. You have shown that you are a person with dignity. You are an upright person, you know. People in a situation that they question themselves is just really dangerous. Mark my words, telling a person you want to stop talking to them is not nearly as, it's not even a half as close as heartbreaking as it is when you are ghosted. Like, you'd rather be told than be ghosted. Who wants to be ghosted? But anyway, I hope you learned something. If you have a ghosting experience that you want to share with us, let us know in the comment section. If this video helped you, give it a big fat thumbs up. And yep, see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.